I filmed the clip yesterday, I said I would talk about what I'd noticed about myself in the publishing of my latest book, number 11 in my name, number 13 overall. And this one I decided to publish in both paperback and Kindle at the same time. It's the first time I've done that. In my previous clips you would have heard me talk about having always published in Kindle, and then recently I decided to look at creating a paperback and ordering the proof versions. So I've done that with all 10 of the previous ones, and then my next book, the one that I'm doing for April, I thought that would be my first one that I could potentially publish in Kindle and paperback at the same time. And then I came up with the idea of publishing my research and doing so on Amazon. So I thought, well, that makes sense to put that in paperback and Kindle at the same time. Now, every time on Kindle they say the publishing can take up to 72 hours. And it never has. I think maybe the first book I did, 2019, maybe took the longest out of all the other previous Kindles, probably because it was the first one I'd done and they wanted to check standards and everything, I don't know. And then others have taken like up to a few hours, and probably an hour, just over an hour in review before it goes to the publishing stage. So I'm used to quickness. And obviously when you're told it could last the 72 hours, when you do it the first time, I think you maybe prepare yourself and you think, oh, okay, I don't need to bother with this, it's going to take 72 hours. I can simply wait for the email to say it's done. And obviously, over those previous books that I've written, each one will have taken a different length of time to go from review to publishing, and then go from publishing to being live on Kindle. And I generally make a note of how long it takes. And then this one was obviously different. And it's naturally different because none of the others have had the need to check references or check the information or anything major. They've just been thoughts, and if I've quoted, then I've obviously put in the name of the person I'm quoting, etc. Whereas this one would have had a lot of references as a piece of research. So completely natural, it would have taken a long time, and obviously the paperback version had to fit within the formats of the paperback. So I did have to upload it again because it came back from review, I think within 24 hours it came back from review to say it had to be, things had to be checked and it had to have a different layout and it wasn't matching their standards, which is completely natural. So I did that, I changed that, and that's up and running. That's been up and running on Kindle as paperback for the last couple of days, I think, or just under 2 days. So I think it took about 25 hours maybe in total, having received the email as well to say make changes and put that up, and then that went through review as well. And even though the Kindle book has got exactly the same information as the paperback one, for some reason it's taken a long time in review. It's still going. They haven't come back to me to ask for changes, although once it's live what I'll do is probably upload the paperback version so it's exactly the same, take out the things that don't necessarily need, but yeah, it's still in review, which is really weird. And I noticed myself have a lack of patience. I do normally consider myself a patient person, but I think what's happened is I've got used to previous ones thinking, right, I can do this. Right, this is going to be ready in a few hours. I'll just check in a few hours and I'll be able to buy it. Bought it. It's come onto my Kindle. I've then been able to go onto Facebook and tell people it's up there live for them to purchase. And that's all happened within a few hours. So it's quite natural that I've had issues with patience. So, all good. all good. But it's interesting, isn't it, what you notice in yourself and what you think, oh my gosh, I thought I was more patient than this. And then when you step back and you consider everything else and the previous ones, you think, no, of course it's a bit different. Of course I'm having issues with this. Of course I'm finding this a bit harder, and as it is taking longer. And of course it's the first time I've published in paperback, so that whole process is really interesting. And what I've realised is, and it's good that I've done it with this, when I publish my next book, the first one I will do at the same time for my travel books, I'll publish it both in paperback and Kindle. But I think what I'll do is publish the Kindle and then create the paperback, which is obviously what I've done with the other ones, because I've been able to, the Kindle's been up there and then you can press a button that says create paperback. So I think I'll do that, make sure that's all sorted. I can create a paperback, order the proof ahead of the paperback. And actually, as I say that, I'm thinking maybe I won't, because what I noticed with this is once it's published you can order an author copy, which is still the same cost as the proof. And I think maybe the proof has a different printing, different font, different depth, I think is probably that word, yeah. So it probably, it will look like a proof, won't it? It'll have the proof across. So maybe, even though it's good to see them in proof, I can look back, I can look over the whole of the document on the preview and publish the paperback and then order an author's copy, because I may end up going back and ordering an author's copy for the other books. Once they're all sorted, I don't know. We shall see. But yeah, there we go. So that's what I noticed in myself, and it was just nice to, rather than say, oh, this is happening, and I had lack of patience there, to actually acknowledge it's reasonable for me having that lack of patience. I'm used to it being different, and I've checked this morning and the Kindle's still in review, and that's after 72 hours, so that is completely unusual and also longer than their guidelines. So it's completely natural that I would at this point have a lack of patience, or have felt it. I don't feel it now, I'm going with the flow, but it was interesting to observe, and then observe the reaction in me to say what's going on here. So, completely natural. The patience left me a little bit, so I can go back to having some patience and just wait. It's already there in paperback, it's nice to see that online. Notice how that feels. I think that suits the research to be in paperback, and I just hope it helps people. I've put it at a higher cost. It'll be £10 more than the Kindle version, so it can help people. So yeah, hopefully it does well. But they're my thoughts, my reactions. It's nice. I don't think I need to buy this one so far. I don't think I need it in paperback, and I haven't downloaded it obviously on Kindle because it isn't available yet, but even when it becomes available, I don't think I will purchase it. It's enough for me that the research is done and sits on my laptop. So there we go. What have you noticed about yourself recently that surprised you, and that hopefully you've talked yourself through and dealt with it? Be interesting, wouldn't it, to consider that? Enjoy your day.